of our forefathers, great forefathers. On the banks of the Indus River, watching the torrential flow of the river, glaciers melting and rushing down the Indus River, the Sindhu River. And also the sunrise through the mist, and the thunder and the lightning and the rain. Our forefathers or our ancient parents were overwhelmed by the display and the splendor of nature. And they burst out in terms of these mantras to express their wonder and joy and sense of belonging to a greater power. So these mantras connected our ancient parents to the sky and the gods who live in the sky. So these mantras are our patrimony, our family silver, and we have to zealously protect them. There are our roots. The Purusha Sutta, Gayatri, or Namagam, Chamagam, this mantra, or Pavamana Sutram, Sri Suttam, Medha Suttam, Taittiriya mantras. Just by listening to them or chanting them, we not only connect with the universe and the gods who govern the universe, we also connect with our deeper self, the source of everything, the supreme consciousness. It is from these mantras rituals emerged, and the yoga practices, meditation, all those emerge from these mantras. All these constitute our spiritual repertoire, the corpus of spiritual literature. And finally, the Upanishads. The Upanishads inquires into our fundamental experience, which is the I experience. And we find the Upanishads are toying with many ideas about the I, the physical I. The breathing I, the feeling I, the thinking I, the ignorant I, the knowledgeable I, the sleeping I, the dreaming I. All these ideas about the I, which is our fundamental experience. The rest are all depending upon the I experience. So the Upanishads are inquiring into this fundamental experience. Invariable, constant experience. And life is a series of experience. Upanishads are inquiring into the very root, the very foundation of that I experience, and comes out with the discovery that the root of the I is Satchidanandam, boundless, infinite bliss. So the Upanishad says, Anandadhyeva khalbimani bhutani jayante, Anandena jadani jivanti, Anandam prayante visambhishanditi, Saisha bhargavi varuni vidya. Everything emerges from bliss. Everything is nurtured and nourished by bliss. And everything goes back blissfully, goes back to the source. The physical I, which is sitting, walking, rubbing. The breathing I, which feels hunger and thirst. The feeling I, which feels anger, jealousy, likes, dislikes. And the thinking I, who decides, who is the doer, enjoyer, and then the sleeping I. And beyond all these small I's is the great big I. Saha aham, that I is me. Soham, soham, Shivoham. So we have seen in detail the physical I, born of food, sustained by food, which become food later. And the breathing I, the air, various modification of the air, oxygen. That I is hungry or thirsty. Then the feeling I, which likes, dislikes, loves, hates, imagines. Then the thinking I. So all these I's are conditioned consciousness. Ubadhista Chaitanyam. And the Anubadhista Chaitanyam, Chaitanya consciousness, free from all those conditions, which is the Brahman, the big, the all accommodating. And our goal is to reach that state. And then use the tools of the intellect, mind, breath, body, embedded in this world. So that is the return of the Rishi. The Rishi climbs these various steps and then reach the mountain peak. And then comes back enlightened. To use these tools for Loka Sangrahartham, the well-being of the world. To rescue people who are drowning in the ocean of suffering. With that intention and mission, the Rishi comes back, the return of the Rishi. So Arohanam and Avarohanam, going up and coming down. And the only mission of the Rishi is to help people who are suffering. So we are now in the climbing stage. We are climbing step by step from the physical body to the physiological body, emotional body, intellectual body. Slowly we are climbing up all the way to the Brahman, the bliss. So we have seen these bodies are like garments we are wearing. The Atman is wearing. The Atman is fundamental. Consciousness is fundamental. I is fundamental. So this I, the consciousness, or Brahman, Atman, is surrounded by these 5 rings. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya. They are concentric circles. One is subtler than the other. The Pranamaya subtler than the Annamaya. Manomaya subtler than the Pranamaya. Vijnanamaya subtler. And Pratyeg, deeper than the Manomaya. Vijnanamaya is close to the Atman, and hence Atman manifests through the Vijnanamaya and spread into other mayas, other koshas. The proximity to the Atman makes the Atman reflect the consciousness. So the yogi or the meditator or the spiritual seeker uses these bodies to climb up. And when he returns or when she returns as an awakened person, uses these bodies as a tool to help humanity. And the yogi's needs are minimal. He is a tapasvi. All the karmas of the yogi is yajna karma. Yajna karma means it is an offering. His karmas is an offering at the highest altar. And whatever the yogi does, dana, it is meant for the well-being of the world. And tapa, the yogi himself is a tapasvi. He takes minimum and invoke this spiritual energy. To help the world. So Loka Sangrahartam. Loka Sangraha is the mission of the yogi or the bhakta or the jnani. They are one and the same. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Govindam Paramanandam Satgurum Pranadosmyaham Jandunam Narajanma Durlabhamatap Punstum Tado Viprada Tasmad Vaidiga Dharma Marga Bharata Vidvatvam Asmat Param Atman Atma Vivejanam Sanubhavo Brahmatmana Samsthidihi Muktirno Shata Janma Kodi Sughrudai Punnirvina Labhyade Dullabham Trayame Vedad Devanugraha Hetugam Manushyattvam Mumukshutvam Mahapurusha Samshaya Kodama Bantha Kathamesha Agataha Katham Pratistasya Katham Vimuksha Kosavanatma Paramaka Atma Tayor Viveka Kathameta Duchyada Brahmananda Rasanubhuti Kalidai Pudai Sushidai Siddhai Yushmad Vakala Shojidai Shruti Sukhay Vakyamridai Sejaya Sandaptam Bhavata Bhadavadagana Jwaladhirenam Prabho Nyaste Bhavadikshana Kshanagade Patri Krita Svikrita So we come to 186th sloka 96th sloka Buddhin buddhi buddhindriyai sardham savritti kartrilakshanaha vijnanamaya kosha syad pumsa samsara karanam. Here is the description of Vijnanamaya kosha. Vijnanamaya kosha is a combination of intellect and the five sense organs of perception. Buddhi, buddhi indriya. Buddhi indriya means jnanendriya. Manomaya kosha is emotions, mind and the five sense organs. So sense organs help both these kosha, a part of both the kosha. So buddhi indriya sardham, savritti means nishchayatmaya. The buddhi is the one who decides. Finally the buddhi has to approve. Most of the time buddhi is under the spell of the emotion. Sometimes buddhi asserts. When you consult gurus and scriptures, buddhi gains certain power. Then it asserts. Otherwise it is without the scriptural help or consultation with the gurus, elders, ministers, professionals, for everything you have to consult people. Then the buddhi asserts. Then the emotions come under control. Otherwise emotions take over most of the time. So this buddhi indriya sardham, savritti, nishchayatmaya buddhi, kartrilakshana. Buddhi is the one who is a doer, final decision maker and doer in you. The executive ego is the Vijnanamaya kosha. This is the Vijnanamaya kosha. Pumsaha samsara karanam. And the Vijnanamaya kosha also causes the samsara. Samsara means desire and desire prompted activities and the resultant frustration. That is called samsara. And desire is caused by ignorance, self-ignorance. So that's a structure of the mind. Ignorance, desire prompted activities, creating outcomes, and then you feel frustrated or disappointed. Then you keep on doing something else. There also you are disappointed. Then something else. There also we are disappointed. So, but I am not disappointed all the time. I am okay. I am okay. So that okayness doesn't last. You go through these roller coasters. Sometimes you feel okay. Sometimes you don't feel okay. So that's the buddhi's fate, let us say. That's how the buddhi functions. Continuing, anubrajan chit pratibimba shakti vijnana samjna prakriter vikara jnana kriyavan ahamityajasram dehendriyadish abhivanyade prasham. Then buddhi also identifies with the deha, mind, intellect, etc., prana, etc. So there are great philosophers who believe we are just the body, and they write millions of pages proving that we are just the body. There is nothing more. Charvakas in India. We are just the body. So buddhi identifies the body sometimes with the prana, sometimes with the mind. But there is no higher identification. So some people live on the intellectual level, some people live on the emotional level, some people live on the prana level, some people live on the physical level. So anubrajan chit pratibimba shakti, the buddhi being close to the Atman as a better reflection of the light of the Atman. That's why buddhi has got the Vivekachana Shakti. It can discriminate between the real and the unreal if it is properly trained, otherwise it cannot. Anubrajan chit pratibimba shakti vijnana sapnya prakriti. And the buddhi also is a matter, subtle matter. That's another interesting thing. Buddhi is made up of subtle matter, the sattvic aspect of the five elements. And that buddhi becomes the karta, bhokta. So Anuvrijan Chit Pradbimba Shakti, Vijnana Sapnya Prakriti Vigaraha, Jnana Kriyavan Ahamitya Jasram. Buddhi has the ego that I am doing, I am enjoying, I am the doer. That is in the level of the buddhi, that thought. So continuing, Anadikaloyam aham subhavaha jivas samasta vyavahara bodha karodi karmanya anupurva vasanaha punyanya punyani chatadbhalani bhumte vijitra sabiyonishu vrajan ayadi niryatyadha urdhameva Asyaiva vijnanamayasya jagrad swapnadyavastha sudadukka bhogava. It's a complete description, a very exhaustive description of the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Anadi, Vijnanamaya Kosha also has got ignorance. It's ignorant. It doesn't have the total vision. It is laboring under the limited vision. So that, this ignorance and the limitation, when did it start? Anadi. You cannot trace the source of this problem. Anadi. Anadi kaloyam aham sabhava. Aham means this ego, this sense of limited ego. Ego can surrender to Ishvara and then become a bhakta. Ego can transcend even Ishvara and become a jnani. That is the last jump you can make. First you surrender to Ishvara. Then you go beyond Ishvara. Then Ishvara and you become one. Soham, hamsa, that attitude. So, anadikaloyam aham sabhavaha, jivaha, samasta vyavahara vodha, he is the one who does all this, karmas. Karodi karmani, you do all kind of karmas. Anupurva vasana, why I am doing whatever I am doing now? Is an explanation. A is doing something, B is doing something else. A is in politics, and his brother B is in research, and his sister C is in a business. Why? Why this difference? We all look the same. The difference is anupurva vasana, the vasanas, the temperament and tendencies that you have, which is collected from the previous janmas. So anupurva vasana, punya punyani, and these vasanas can be graded into punya and apunya. Good karma, bad karma. Punya punyani. These are the karmas, karodi karmani. Chatadbhalani ja, and the outcome, result. Bhungte, the jiva bhungte, endure it, enjoy it, suffer it. Good karma he enjoys, bad results he suffer. In between he endure. So bhungte vijitra sabiyunish. And to enjoy this he has to get into different bodies. Different bodies. To enjoy the certain things you have to become a buffalo or a pig. Certain things you have to become a god. So depending upon your karma, you can be up to Brahma, you can become by your good karma. Or Indra, you can become. Yama, you can become. Though these are all jivas. Jivas by doing good karmas. Brahmadi, Stambha Paryantam. Or you can become a mosquito also. Or a crocodile, or a bug. You can, or a snake. Why not? Some people look like snake, isn't it? So, you can become anything, he says, depending upon the goodness and badness of your karmas. So, punyani, apunyani. That's why Indra is a very important post. Because he is the god of gods. He is ruling heaven. And through that he is controlling the earth also. Indra, god of God. And he wouldn't like anybody to do any tapas. Because by doing the tapas, doing homa, etc., you can aspire for the Indra Padavi. So once you become a prime minister, you will not allow anybody become the prime minister, isn't it? By some stratagem, you will keep on winning the election. You cannot tolerate it. Other people are doing tapas, walking across India or doing something to become the prime minister. But the reigning prime minister will not allow. So Vishwamitra did tapas. And Indra got suspicion. Maybe you want to replace me. You want to grab my chair. So Indra sends Urvashi. She comes dancing and then perfume and all that. And Vishwamitra got the perfume smell. And he opened the eyes and he saw this lady. And then he fell for her. And Vishwamitra fathered a child also. Isn't it? So he lost all his stuff. Now Indra is okay. So if you become too powerful, then they will send you the ED or some kind of a sensational news about you, something you must have done in the past. Everything will be splashed in the newspaper, TV, everything. So your reputation is in mud. Isn't it? So it's the same thing Indra also does. And then Menaka comes and destroys the tapas, and Vishwamitra again goes to tapas. Again goes. And then he is doing tapas. Then this Trishangu comes. Trishangu comes and he says, I want to go to Indraloka, but I am not allowed. I have to go to Indra with this physical body. You cannot go with this physical body. You need another body to go to Indraloka. That you will get in Pitraloka. Go to Pitraloka, live there for some time, and order for a new pair of clothes, then you can wear it and go to Sargaloka, where Indra lives. Like when you go to golf club, you cannot wear this kind of clothes. So Indra sent, this Trishangu comes. Trishangu wanted to go to Indraloka, Sargaloka, with his physical, human body, which is not allowed, which is not according to the protocol, the heavenly protocol. So Trishangu got unhappy, so he goes to Vasishta. Can he help me? Vasishta is a great Rishi, all-knowing Rishi. Vasishta said, no, I don't want to break the rules. That's the rules of the heaven. I don't want to go against it. I may, I can, but I don't want to. I don't want to break the rules. I am the custodian of rules. So, Trishangu comes back, disappointed. On the way he meets Narada. Narada is a troublemaker and troubleshooter also. He makes trouble. Narada is, what's your problem? Trishangu is lying on the road. What's your problem? No, I wanted to go to heaven with a physical human body and it's not allowed, it's against the rule. Who cares for the rules? I want to go there. And I went to Vasishta. Vasishta couldn't help me. Did Vasishta say that? Then do one thing. Vishwamitra is an enemy of Vasishta. Vishwamitra doesn't like Vasishta. Because Vishwamitra wants Vasishta's power, position. You want to be a Brahmajnani. Vishwamitra is the Rishi only. Devarshi, Rajarshi, not Brahmarshi. You want to become Brahmarshi. So Vishwamitra and Vasishta has got some ego problem. So whatever Vasishta cannot do, Vishwamitra wanted to do. Exploiting their rivalry. Like India coming, China coming to Pakistan, isn't it? Against India, something like that. So there, Narada said, Narada is a troublemaker. Narada says, go to Vishwamitra, he will help. He comes to Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra again wakes up from tapas. Can I help you? Yeah, I want to go to heaven. Vishwamitra said, okay, I will help you. So he calls Indra. Can I send him? Indra said, no way. You cannot send him here. Then Vishwamitra got angry. He said he created a heaven. A new heaven, alternate heaven. And he sent Trishangu there. But the problem is, a new township There is no grocery shop, there is no hospital, there is no good school. So Trishangu got bored there. And he came back. Now he cannot come to human world because he already been sent to him. So Trishangu is neither in heaven nor in the earth. That is called Trishangu, dangling in the mid-air, you see. Trishangu. Some people are like that. They are neither there nor here. You went there, you are unhappy there, then you come back, here nobody knows you. So, Trishangu ho gaya. It has become, this Vishwamitra got another tapasam. This way Vishwamitra loses, he earns punya, he loses it. And Indra is very happy. This guy will never come to my position. This way he keep on putting obstacle. And finally, Vishwamitra thought, Indra Padavi is not, I am not interested in Indra Padavi. I want to become a Brahmarshi. Not just a Rajarshi, a Brahma. And there is a big story. The rivalry between Vasishtha and Vishwamitra is very famous. In the Ramayana it is described, and Mahabharata it is described. The rivalry between Vasishtha. They are great people. They are great people. But still there is rivalry. To put down the other. The rivalry is always there. In this world also we see the same. Nobody is free from that. Nobody is free. If Vasishtha and Vishwamitra is fighting, then what about you and I, he say? Definitely there will be conflict and fight. So my point is, to enjoy different karma balas, you need appropriate bodies, appropriate loga. So there you have to go. So, Bhunkte Vijitrasavi Yonishu Vrajanna, Vijitrasi Yonishu, variegated bodies you have to go. Ayadi Niryadi Adha Burdamesha. He goes up and down, up and down. Asyeva Vijnanamayasya. At the same Vijnanamaya, in a given body, he goes through three stages: Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti Avastha. This is Vijnanamaya is a great voyager, traveler, pilgrim, goes from one body to another body, Vijnana. Not the Atman. So when you realize I am the Atman, you have no going and coming. Till such time, since you are wearing this equipment, so you are living in a virtual world, you say. You will be going up and down. Continuing. Dehadinishtashrama dharma karma gunabhimana sadatam mamedi vijnana koshoyam adiprakasha pragrishta sannidhya vashat paratmanah. So Vijnanamaya is pragrishta sannidhya vashat paratmanah, very close to the Supreme Self, and it is a light, it is got a better light. That's why it becomes knowledge maker. It perceives, it experiences, karta, the bhokta, Vijnanamaya kosha. Ado bhavatyesha ubhadirasya. So, this Vijnanamaya is the ubhadi, is the adjunct, is a tool, or a conditioning of Brahman. Brahman uses the Vijnanamaya. So, adaha bhavatyesha ubhadiyasya yad atmadihi samsaradi brahmena. Continuing, this we have seen all this. Yoyam vijnanamaya mayaha praneshu hrudi spuran swayam jodihi kudastas sannatma karta bhokta bhavatyubhadisthaha. So the Vijnanamaya is ubhad, the Kudasthaha Swayam Jyotihi Atma is conditioned by the Vijnanamaya. Or the Atma uses the Vijnanamaya as a tool to gather experiences, to express and experience itself. Vijnanamaya become a tool. As I told you, a Veena is useful for you to express yourself, experience yourself. Similarly, the Vijnanamaya. Continuing. Swayam parichedamubedya buddhe tadatmya doshena param vrishatmanaha sarvatmagas sannabi vishade swayam sudapradagvena mrudo ghadaniva. I think we have seen all this yesterday. So, the Atman Swayam Parichedamubhadya is assuming these conditionings, wielding this tool, just to explore and express itself. Just as a painter wielding a brush and paint and a canvas, or a musician wielding a musical instrument, similarly, and just to explore and express their potential, or a surgeon wielding a knife, just to express himself, or a driver using a car to explore and express himself or herself. So this Atman uses these tools. But at the same time, and then Atman make a mistake in the process. What is the mistake? It takes himself to be, it gets exiled from itself. Atman loses sight of its real nature. That's where we are now. We lost our true self and we are falling for all other things, running behind. In the process, you lose yourself. Continuing. Ubadi sambandha vashat paratma. Ubadi sambandha vashat paratma bhi. Ubadi dharma nanubhadi tadgunaha. Ayo vikaran avigari vannivad. Sadega-rupopi parasvabhavad. So the Ubadi is a key word in Vedanta. Maya, Avidya, Prakriti, Ubadi. Prakriti means Ubadi. Ubadi means the conditioning. So the Atman get conditioned by the Maya, Prakriti, Ajnanam, etc. So Ubadi sambandha vashat paratma. Abhi Ubadi dharma nanubha. And as a result, the properties of the Ubadi is superimposed upon the Atma. For example, when you are driving a car, the properties of the car will be limiting your expression. If you are riding a cycle, the property of the cycle will limit your self-expression. You need this Ubadi to express. But when you use this Ubadi, it limits yours. Like a bird. The spread of its wing is necessary to soar into the sky, but it limits it also. It limits. So it's a catch-22 situation. Without this I cannot express, but this limits my expression. This conditions my expression. That's the catch-22 situation. Without that I cannot do anything. With this I can do only few things. Isn't it? Everything I cannot do. If I am using a flute, I can only use it that conditioned by that flute. Without that I cannot do anything. This is the human condition, as they say. So, Ubadi dharma nanubhadi tadgunaha. So these properties are superimposed. Example given is the crystal and the red flower. The red flower throws its property on the crystal and it looks like a red crystal. Actually it's not a red crystal. That Viveka is necessary. So you use these tools, the tools will condition your self-expression, but there is no other way to express yourself. Ubadi dharma nanubhadi tadgunaha ayo vigaran avigari vannivada. So there are two things. Aya means iron ball. Vanni means fire. Fire has no particular form. It is avigari. The iron ball has got a particular form. Together it becomes a fireball. The properties of the iron ball is superimposed upon the fire, properties of the fire superimposed upon the iron ball. Fire has no particular form, now it has a fireball. Iron has a form, but it has no heat, now iron also is hot. So they mutually, anyonya adhyasam is it. It's a mutual superimposition. This is how life unfolds. Life unfolds. Here is a individual and he uses tools. The tools condition his expression. Without the tool you cannot express. So that's a human condition. There's no other way. There's no other way to live in this world. So consciousness, the Atman, the Brahman, creating tools, using tools. And sometimes tool will overpower you also. That also is possible. Sayo vikara navikari vannivad sadega rupobi parasvabhavad. Atman is sada ega rupa, one form. Satchidananda. But when it is entangled with these objects and tools, then its expressions are limited, it feels conditioned, it feels imprisoned by the tools, you see. That's why sometimes we want to just sit quiet. I don't want to use any tools. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to even think of the body. I just want to get lost somewhere deep where nobody can reach me. Don't you feel sometimes like where nobody can reach me? I want to go to such a place, such a level where I don't see anything, I don't want to hear anything. Leave me alone. Sometimes you say, leave me alone. We have that desire to go very deep, give up everything. Unburden yourself, undress yourself, and then go to the deeper level of your being where you feel secure, where you feel very secure. You don't further fall anywhere. That kind of a feeling all of us have. Near-death experience. They are talking about near-death experience. Suddenly, you lost your consciousness, nothing is there. You feel you are going through a dark tunnel. Sometimes it's experience. Like sleep. Sleep is like a near-death experience. Or sometimes you really feel you are dead. Everybody thinks he is dead. 3 days he is dead. Doesn't breathe, he doesn't open his eyes, doesn't eat. No response. After 3 days this person wakes up. Then he says, I went somewhere, some kind of a heaven I went and I came back. And he reports, there's a neuroscientist, 7 days dead. 7 days. He's a neuroscientist, performed many surgeries. A dead person. And everyone thought he is dead. Then suddenly, in America, in Europe, they don't bury you immediately. Unlike India. India, because the body starts putrefying. Therefore, morning died, evening you cremated, isn't it? Sometimes that person can come up also. But we are in a hurry to cremate and have the lunch and dinner afterwards. So here they keep you for 7 days. And they wash you, the body is washed, and then given in new clothes, and put some perfume. And then that person looks so good when in the mortuary, they keep him there. After 7 days or they bury him. So this guy, neurosurgeon, 7 days he is dead. After 7 days he wakes up. And he has written a book. I am not telling you a fake story. He has written a book also. What he experienced during these 7 days. He says, I met God and went to heaven and met him. God said, go back. Not time for you. Your room is not yet ready. Go back. Then he came back, it's safe. Then he came back and wrote a beautiful book. Beautiful book. I recently met one guy in Delhi, young man, 40-year-old. He's an athlete, marathon runner, and I knew him within 2-3 years. And I was there in his marriage, Delhi. And one day he went for a run, came back, and sat under the shower. Then he slipped and fell, and his head was struck against the wall. He became unconscious, totally unconscious. Nothing can move in his body, nothing. Only the eye can be opened a little bit, a corner. Then I went to see him. Last year, went to see him. 40-year-old man, young wife, no children. So when I went there, he doesn't move, he doesn't open his eyes. I sat and held his hand, chanted a mantra. Then he slightly opened his eyes. And he was in that state for the last 3 months. Not 1 or 2 days. Then but with his corner of the eye, he can communicate with his wife. Wife understands the language. So he said, give me a slate, a board, and a pencil. And he is writing, and it took almost half an hour. Thank you, Swami Ji, he said. I said, wow, this is something great. That means he knows. The consciousness is there. Though there is an external expression, consciousness is there. So these are the near-death experience or under anesthesia, all this, anesthetics and all that. It shows that deep down, the consciousness is still alive, he says. Alive. Whether you are dead or sleeping or under anesthetic or in coma. There is one guy in Germany, 15 years he was in coma. 15 years. And the wife and the mother of the guy, if only he died. We are just taking care of him, we are tired of him. Then he wakes up after 15 years and he says, I heard all what you are saying about me. I heard all that you are saying about me. So this way, there is deep down, we are still present. The light is never off, he said. The light is never off. So that's why Sada Ega Rupaha Bhi, Parasvabhava, that's the nature of the Atma. That Atman is never extinguished or never, the light is never off, he says. Continuing. Now Shishya, when he heard all this, Shishya has got a doubt now. Shishya has been listening very carefully. So we have seen, you are allowed to challenge the Guru in the Vedanta class. You don't have to simply follow whatever the Guru says. That way there is no knowledge. Knowledge happens in question answer. You ask a question, it may be a foolish question, doesn't matter. All questions are foolish, isn't it? Because you don't know, that's why you are asking questions. So the answer. So question answer is very important. Samvadam, question answer. So Shishya asked a question now. So the Guru said the conditioning or the ubadi or ajnana or desire. You said ajnana is anadi. There's no beginning for that. If it is anadi, shouldn't be anandam also. If it is beginningless, it should be endless. Whatever is beginningless should be endless. So Shishya has got a doubt now. Now it seems that Atman is permanently imprisoned in this ubadi now. Permanently conditioned by this ubadi. Permanently conditioned by ignorance. It seems there is no escape from that. That's the Shishya's question. So Shishya says, moksha is not possible. You are condemned to be enslaved or conditioned by the upasis. Moksha is not possible. That's what Krishna Guru says. Guru, you should close your shop now. Isn't it? Close your shop. Because you have nothing to sell now. Moksha is not possible. That's what Shishya says. Shishya uvacha Brahmenapyanyatha vastu Jiva bhava paratmanah Tadubaderanaditvad Nanade Nashayishyade Brahmenapyanyatha vastu Jiva bhava paratmanah Tadubaderanaditvad Nanader Nashayishyade. So that means Shishya is listening very carefully. Brahmena va abhi anyatha va astu jiva bhavaha paratmanah tadubadehe anaditvad na anadehe nashayishyade. This is Shishya's position now. She is challenging the Guru. So a solution can pose another problem now. So he said it's all due to conditioning, Atma is not affected. But there is a conditioning. And this condition has to be removed. Conditioning nothing but ignorance. But it is anadi. And ignorance cannot be removed. Because it is anadi, it has to be ananda also. If it is beginningless, it has to be endless, isn't it? That's simple logic. So Shishya says, I don't care whether it is Brahma or real. Brahmena abhi anyata va astu. It can be Brahma, you said it is a delusion. Delusion also is anadi. It has to be ananda also. Whether it is delusion, Brahmena abhi anyatha va astu. Anyatha means by some other reason. Vastudaha. Anyatha means vastudaha. Whether it is delusional or whether it is real, I don't care. As long as it is anadi, it has to be ananda also. That's his argument. So Brahmena abhi anyatha va. Anyatha means vastudaha va astu jiva bhava paratmanaha. Paratma has assumed the jiva bhavam, this limitation. Tad ubadehi anaditva. Since ubadi is anadi, beginningless. Ubadi means, what is ubadi? Ajnana. Ajnana, Maya, Panchakoshas. This is ubadi. Since they have no beginning, they cannot have any end also. That's simple logic. Tad ubade anaditva. Na anadehe nashayishyade. There cannot be ending of anadi. That is, anadi has to be anandam also, endless. So this bondage is endless bondage. The suffering is endless. It cannot be put an end. Because suffering is caused by ignorance. Ignorance is beginningless. Therefore it should be endless. So there will be no end to suffering. So Shishya says, Adosya jiva bhavopi nityo bhavati samsrudihi na nivarteda tanmokshaha kadham me Shri Guru vada. Adosya jiva bhavopi nityo bhavati samsrudihi na nivarteda tanmokshaha kadham me Shri Guru vada. Adaha, so ignorance, ubadi are the same, and the jiva bhavam, the sense of limitation, all this should be permanent because it has no beginning. So adahasya jiva bhavaha bhi nityaha bhavadi samsrudi, samsara also, suffering also is there. You have to accept that. Samsrudihi na nivarteda. So that samsrudi na nivarteda can never come to an end. Tad moksha kadam me Shri Guru vada. How can there be moksha? Moksha is impossible. This conversation is futile. Conversation is futile. You are just entertaining me. That's all. I don't think there is any way out of this prison. This conversation, this seminar or this retreat is meaningless. I'm not going to gain any moksha at all. Because you say ignorance is anadi, how can we put an end to that? Guru says, very good question. I never thought like that. Give me some time. Give me some time to think about that. This I never expected. You are so intelligent. And Shishya is a little puffed up. And then Guru Vaja Samyak Prishtam Toya Vidvan Savadhanena Tachunu Pramanigina Bhavadi Brandya Mohita Kalpana Samyak Prishtam Toya Vidvan Savadhanena Tachunu Pramanigina Bhavadi Brandya Mohita Kalpana Samyak Prishtam Toya Vidvan. Well designed question. Well formulated question. I didn't even think of such a intelligent question. Samyak Prishtam Toya. Well designed. Based upon my presentation. It's a beautiful critique of my presentation. What was my presentation? You are suffering because of ignorance, not knowing who you are. That's my simple presentation. That's a diagnosis and a solution. The diagnosis is for your suffering, ignorance, isn't it? And when you remove ignorance, you will be blissful. But ignorance, you say, is anadi. I asked you, when did you start? Then you said it has no beginning. Then it has to be endless. So, this question, based upon my presentation, I really appreciate it. Samyak Prishtam Toya Vidvan. But Savadhanena Tada Shrunu, you say. Now take a breath. Don't get emotionally involved in that question. Don't have any investment in that question. You want an answer, isn't it? But sometimes we ask a question, we stick to that question. No answer will satisfy. No answer will satisfy. So, you shouldn't be in that situation. Relax. Open your mind. So, savadhanena, with great humility and relaxed state, tada, answer to that question, shrunu, you give. Now he says, pramanagina bhavadi. This ignorance which you are talking about has no reality, you say. Pramana means when you use it, the pramana like scripture, study the scripture, look at it from the scriptural standpoint, then they have no existence. That means there was no ignorance at any time. There was no ignorance. It doesn't, pramanam na sahade, vijaram na sahade, ignorance is it. So for example, this light, darkness. A darkness in a cave. When did it start? You don't know. Darkness. Beginning. But you bring light, darkness goes. Isn't it? So darkness can be put to an end, though it is beginning. So, pramanam na sahade, vicharam na sahade, ignorance. Then, brahmbya, avicharidaya. It is lack of reflection which presents this ignorance. Otherwise it has no locus standi. Lack of reflection, lack of light. Lack of light, darkness comes. Where does darkness come from? So darkness has to be defined as absence of light. That's all what we can say. Absence of light. So darkness has no positive existence. It is only another way of saying there is no light. That does not mean darkness exists. If darkness exists, when light comes, darkness will shine more. For example, here is a pot in darkness. A pot you kept in darkness. And you don't see the pot because it's dark. Then you bring the light. You see the pot, isn't it? If darkness is real, the light should shine upon that. That doesn't happen. That's the interesting thing. So if darkness is real, then light should reveal the darkness. But what happens is, when light comes, darkness disappears. That means what? In the light, in the presence of light, darkness cannot exist. Meaning it has no existence, real existence. So he says, pramanigina bhavati. This ignorance doesn't stand enquiry. Pramana vyapara. Pramana vyapara means not selling Bhagavad Gita. Pramana vyapara means studying Bhagavad Gita. You study Bhagavad Gita and then, or reflect on that, then ignorance goes. Had it been there, it should be shining in the light. It doesn't happen. So pramanigina bhavati. Yadhartam na bhavati. It's not real. Pramana siddha na bhavati. Pramanigi bhavati. Brandya mohita kalpana. Brandi means a state of illusion or not knowing, ignorant. You imagine things. Because you don't see the rope as the rope, then you see the snake there. That's what is happening. It is absence of enquiry, absence of reflection, which is set up a fictitious thing, not real thing. Like darkness. It's a fictitious thing. Samyak prishtam tavya vidvan savadhanena tachshunu pramanigina bhavati brandya mohita kalpana. These are all the projection of ignorance. In it, normal happens. You hear some sound there, let's say. Or when you are sleeping, fan is on, and you hear some rustling sound. Then you are scared. The first time you are sleeping in that room, and you are hearing some sound. And you are scared, you don't know what to do. You don't put on the light, because maybe some snake, some rat. But finally, you some or other slept. Morning when you wake up, you see there is a newspaper in the fan, it is rustles. Then your fear is gone, isn't it? So the newspaper rustling in the fan, you superimpose a snake or a rat or a cat or whatever. You don't see the truth. I remember once I was in a house, in a remote village. There are a lot of properties. They have outhouses. An outhouse in front there will be a small tank or small well. So I am staying there. Then a lady came. I went for giving some talks, staying in the outhouse. Then a lady came, Swamiji, you are staying here? Yes. Oh, that person died here, in this house. And her ghost is roaming around. Yeah. Then I also got a little scared, some ghost is here. That night, I really held on to my Rudrashamana and slept there. You cannot say I am scared, because these people say, Swami, you are scared or what? But everybody is scared. That little child in you is there. Parents all saying, ghost is there, ghost is there. Don't go to that room. So that night, I saw some light. Boom, boom, light come. I thought real ghost is going to attack me. Some or other I held on to Rudrashamala, and some or other I slept or didn't sleep, I don't know. When I got up that morning, I got the courage. Just see what's that. There is a branch of the tree striking on the electric wire. It creates that flash of light. Then I realized, my God, unnecessarily I got scared and I don't get sleep, and then I can get a psychological problem also as a result. The ghost can enter into it. Because this is all your mind's creation. So he says, the suffering is only Brandya Mohita Kalpana. So what is suffering here? I see myself unhappy, then I see happiness out there, then I go and grab it, then I see there is no happiness in that, then I am frustrated, then I go for something else. This way from pillar to post, we move, he says. So Brandya Mohita Kalpana. Continuing. Brandin vinatva sangasya nishkriyasya nirakrude na khadedartha sambandha na bhaso niladadivad. Brandin vinatva sangasya nishkriyasya nirakrude na khadedartha sambandha Nabhaso Niladadivad. So we take it as the final truth, whatever the scripture says. The scripture says your nature is Satchidanandam. That I have to accept. Otherwise, suffering is permanent. If my nature is suffering, then you cannot escape from that. Fire cannot escape from heat. That is fire's nature. If my nature is unhappiness, dukkham, how can I get out of that? Not possible. I cannot remove that. Not because of my nature. So, my nature cannot be suffering. Suffering is something superimposed, like a cap or something. I can don it and doff it off. If suffering is superimposed upon me, then I can remove that. If it is my nature, I cannot remove that. So the question is that, what is your nature? Is it happiness or unhappiness? If it is unhappiness, you should be happy with that. The fire doesn't feel the heat. One day the fire says, I am sweating. Because of heat I am sweating. You cannot sweat. Fire cannot sweat. Because it is nature. If it is nature, you cannot get rid of them. So finally we understand, happiness is my nature. Unhappiness cannot be my nature. Because I am struggling against unhappiness. It's like a thorn which has gone into my flesh. Isn't it? I want to get rid of some or other. So from all kind of logic, we understand happiness is my nature. It cannot be, I cannot be anything other than that. And the scripture also says. So we accept that happiness is my nature and mortality is the nature of the body, not my nature. I am immortal. Believe in that. Organize your life accordingly. Be courageous. Be bold. You never die. You are immortal. Be bold. And then deal with the world. Then deal. Then you can take risk. You can be curious, enterprising, risk-taking. And when you take risk, things happen beyond your imagination. Things just happen. For example, this Aristotle Onassis, one of the richest shipping magnate in the world, is a Greek. He was born in a poor family. And one day he just left home. You took risk. One day he left home and he hid himself in a ship because it's a small island, Greek is a small. And the ship sailed off the island. And finally it came to Brazil. And the boy is hiding there, stealing food from here and there, because he is sitting like a rat inside. And finally the ship came to Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and he embarked from the ship along with others. And he worked in a shop. And he worked there, he was so hardworking because he had nothing else. No parents, no relatives, nothing. All the time working. And finally he bought that shop. In 2-3 years, he bought that shop. Then he started another shop. And he made a lot of money. Then he bought a ship. Then he became a big shipping magnate. One of the richest man in the world. What I am saying that when you take a risk, the whole universe will support you. Throw yourself into the wind. The wind will take you the best places. If you don't take any risk, nothing will happen. You will be the same old person. No change. You are not challenging yourself. So when you challenge, your spirit will awake. The universe will support you. For that you should know, I am immortal. I am immortal. So, Brandhim vinatva sangasya nishkriyasya nirakriti. So your nature is asangaha, nishkriyaha, nirakritihi. That's your nature. Asanga means there is nothing for me to attach to. I am not attached to anything, which is also very important. If you attach to many things, you cannot make a difference to the world. Don't be attached to anything, only to truth. You are trying to see what is the truth, what is real. No other attachment is. Your attachment is only to God, you can say. God is truth. All other relationships are temporary, they are not lasting relationships. So relentlessly you are pursuing that truth, he says. You are ready to take risk. So that's the meaning asanga. Nishkriyaha. And in that state, you don't have to do anything. The whole nature will work for you. It may look a little fabricated story, but that's the reality. You don't have to do anything. Things will be done for you, you see. If you do something, you get only very limited thing. When the whole universe works for you, you make great achievements, you see. So, nishkriyasya. That's the meaning of nishkriyatva. Nishkriyatva means what you do is puny little. What you get is the whole universe. The universe will work for you. So, asangasya nishkriyasya. Nishkriyasya does not mean sitting in a corner like a question mark. That's not the meaning. I am nishkriya. That's not the meaning. The meaning here is you become part of the universal mission, you see. Universe will work for you. Nishkriya. These words should be clearly understood. Nishkriyasya. Nirakradehe. You have no particular form so that you can take any form. If you have a particular form, you are stuck with that. You can take any form. The versatile, you become a versatile, fluid, flexible, resilient person. You can shine anywhere, you see. Wherever you are, you can shine. You are resilient, flexible, fluid. Like Hanuman. In front of Rama and Sita, he is like a little child, isn't it? Small monkey. In front of Ravana, my God, he gains gigantic shape, you see. He said. So that's the resilience we are talking about. That's why nirakriti, you are not stuck with the one particular role or a one particular form. You can take any form. Nirakriti. Like Krishna. Krishna has got many forms, isn't it? He can expand the whole universe, or he can become the Parsarthi. He can dance with the gopis. When he dances with the gopis, you cannot imagine Krishna is such a great man. Gopis are teasing him, Krishna is teasing gopis. Isn't it? You cannot imagine this is Krishna. Then he can become. Then Duryodhana's present, he said, Yuga Purusha or Virat Purusha. That also you can. Then Arjuna says, give me a little picture of you. Krishna gives him a picture. Shanga, Chakra, Gada, Padma. Arjuna takes it. So you're a versatile person. Can take any form, can fill any role that the universe assigns to you. Other people, they say, no, I don't do this job. I don't clean bathrooms. I can only clean puja rooms, let's say. Bathroom I can. Krishna can do anything, he said. Because cleaning bathroom doesn't define Krishna. Krishna defines what is cleaning bathroom. He'll do a good job. Whatever job is given. Very precise, systematic. Without any mistake, he can do that. So that's the meaning of Nirakrudehe. So Bhrantin vina tvasangasya nishkariyasya nirakrudehe. That's your nature, Atman's nature. Na ghatayad artha sambandha. And such a person, how can you be attached and bound by artha? Artha means these various objects in the world. How can you be there? You are a master. You are not a slave. But we are a slave. We are attached to 101 things. We have no freedom from that. Here you give meaning to things. Things don't give you any meaning, you say. Na ghatayada, it is not possible. It's not imaginable. Artha sambandha, attachment, slavery to these objects, you say. Napasaha. So artha sambandha here means ignorance. There cannot be ignorance. Ignorance cannot put any limit on the Atman. Maybe Atman can use ignorance as a tool. That's possible. But ignorance cannot affect the Atman. Napasaha neeladadivada. Like the blueness in the sky. When you look at the sky, you see it's blue as well as vartulam, curvature. The curvature and the blueness of the sky is not real. But it seems so. It's so beautiful to see it. The blue sky, like an umbrella above your head. It's so beautiful. But there is no reality to that. So there is pradidi, but no pratyam, you say. It looks it's there, but you don't take it seriously. This is another interesting thing. Certain things seems to be there, but on close enquiry, it ceases to be there. The sunrise seems to be there. On close enquiry, it is not there. Isn't it? So, it is a matter of how alert you are. Napasaha neeladadivada. Continuing. Swasya drishtur nirgunasya. Swasya nirgunasya kriyasya pratyek bodhananda rupasya buddhe brandya prapto jiva bhavo na satya moha bhaye nastya vastu sabhavad swasya drishtur nirgunasya kriyasya pratyek bodhananda rupasya buddhe brandya prapto jiva bhavo na satya moha bhaye nastya vastu svabhavad swasya drishtuhu. So you are defining yourself. Who am I? The question. I am the drishta, the observer, the seer, not the seen. Swasya drishtuhu nirgunasya. I have no particular property, you say. So that I can have any property. I am not boxed into any particular property. I am not boxed. Particular property means woman, man, father, mother, good, bad. These are physical aspects of physical and mental body. Not Atman is. Atman is neither man, woman or good, bad, blue, yellow, nothing. beyond all that. So that's your freedom. You are freeing yourself from all these conditioning. Sostu drishtuhu nirgunasya. No property. For example, you say a blue big lotus. Lotus is a particular object. You can define it as blue, big lotus, flower. It's a flower, not a stone. It's a lotus, not a rose. It is blue, not red. Isn't it? And it is fragrant, not neutral. No, there are so many qualifications. But Atman is free from all these. So, sosya drishtuhu nirgunasya avikriyasya. Again the word avikriya comes. It doesn't do anything, you see. No action, no modification. No modification. Like a Vishnu, lying there. But it's like a magnet, doesn't do anything. But all iron filings are dancing around that. So, sosya drishtuhu nirgunasya akriyasya. This is a state of mind we have to develop. Doing everything, you feel I am not doing anything. Doing everything, you feel you are not doing it. This is called agarmani karma darshanam. Karmani akarma darshanam. While you are doing everything, you don't feel it. Meaning, you enjoy what you are doing. Let me put it that way. You enjoy what you are doing. So, akriyasya. And you don't feel exhausted. End of the day, you are as fit as a fiddle and as fresh as a flower is. You are not tired at all. At home, everybody is tired except the mother. A weekend, mother has more job, isn't it? Husband is at home, children are at home, everybody is at home. She has to make a coffee, tea and biscuits and snacks and then lunch and breakfast. And guests also come. Everybody is tired. The only person who is not tired is the mother. And she is the one who works from morning till evening. No tiredness at all. So, a Brahmajnani, the Atman, is doing everything without doing anything. There is a very interesting story. A sannyasi visited a devotee's home. Sannyasi is staying there. And it was raining and all that, so he overstayed. A guest or a sannyasi should not stay more than 3 days. If you stay more than 3 days, guest will become disgusted. So he overstayed. Now the husband and wife, they did not know how to get rid of the sannyasi. Because sannyasi is a botheration. You have to be getting up early in the morning, you have to cook good food, you have to give him, and you have to wash his clothes and you wash his vessels, and then you have to behave properly. You cannot fight. So therefore he has become a nuisance. He is not living. And then the husband and wife designed a strategy, how to get rid of him. So they started fighting in the kitchen. Sannyasi is waiting for the breakfast. At that time, big fight in the kitchen. Vessels are falling, rolling, and then making a lot of noise. After some time, the wife looked through the door. Sannyasi is gone. So it worked. It worked. And they came and sat on the sofa. Both of them. And they are congratulating each other. See, without abusing you, without scolding you, I scolded you. Without beating you, I beat you. Without scratching you, I scratched you. All those things. And both of them are congratulating you. At that time, some sannyasi emerged from under the bed. See, without going, I left. Without going, I left. This is what sannyasa is all about. Without doing anything, they will do everything. Doing everything, they don't feel doing anything. This is Bhagavan. Name partasi kartavyam trishu logeshu kinjana nanavaptamavaptavyam vartayavacha karmani. I have nothing to do, but I keep doing everything. So that's why avikriya. Pratyek Bodhananda Swarupasya. Bodham and Anandam. Bodham creates, give you the Anandam, he said. Knowledge alone, Jnanagni Sarva Karmani Bhasmasat. Knowledge alone can liberate it. Bodha Anandam, give you the joy. Pratyek, where is the seat of this Bodhanandam? Deep inside you. Pratyek, not parag, not outside. Not in pan parag, he said. It is deep inside. So look inside. How do you go inside? By watching. Watching and detaching, transcending. That way you can go inside. Pratyek bodhananda rupasya buddhehe brandya praptaha jiva bhavaha. This is your nature. But the buddhi, the intellect takes you differently. Because of the influence of tamas. The buddhi takes you as a limited person, you say. That's a problem in the buddhi, not your problem. Buddhehe brandya, brandya means tamas, ignorant. Praptaha jiva bhavaha. So because of your identification with the buddhi, then you assume the jiva bhava. That's not your nature. Na satyaha, it's not the truth. Then moha paye, when that ignorance is removed, delusion is gone. Nasti avastu svabhava. This brandi, this ignorance, this suffering is not there because it has no real existence. It has no real existence. Avastu svabhava. Continuing. Yavad brandhistavadevasya satta mithya jnano jrumbhidasya pramadad rejvam sarpo brandhikalina eva brandir nashe naivat sarposti tadvad. Na yavat brandhihi tavadevasya satta ise. Asya means the aham, ahangaram, kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam. All these are yavat brandhi, as long as the ignorance remains. Thereafter, these are not there. You don't feel you are doing anything, and you don't have to enjoy the world. You can have aesthetic enjoyment of the world. You don't consume the world. You don't control and colonize and exploit the world. You coexist. You coexist. You take only minimum. So, yavat brandi tavadevasya satta. Asya means this aham sukhi, aham dukhi, this kind of feeling. They have no existence at all. Mithya jnano ujrimbidasya pramadad. All these are because mithya jnanam, wrong understanding about yourself. You have no way. You never try to understand who you are. That's a mithya jnana, wrong knowledge. As a result of that, you feel you are suffering. Like what? Rejvam sarpaha, same old story. Like you saw the snake on the rope. Mithya jnana, wrong knowledge. Brandi kalina eva. As long as the mithya jnanam, wrong knowledge exists, there is suffering. When you bring the light, brandir nashe, naiva sarpa asti, tadvad. Then there is no sarpa. The idea is that when you have self-knowledge, suffering simply disappears. Then your problem is, I have been listening to all this while I think I have self-knowledge. Still I am suffering. That is the old habit. Because you have created certain habit. You know you don't have to suffer, but you are suffering habitually as a habit. The habit is to be removed. That will take some time. Yes. Habit is to be removed. That will take. I told you, take a wrong exit, drive efficiently, go to the wrong place, then you have to turn around, come back. That about turn, walking back will take time. Redesigning yourself will take some time. This is called abhyasa. Abhyasena tu kaundeya, vairagena tu grihyade. So, Brahnder Nasha Sarpa Tadvad, same way, we have to know the truth. Continuing. Anaditvama vidyayaha karyasyapi tadeshyade utpannayam tu vidyayam avidyagamanadyadi prabodhe swapnavasarvam sahamulam vinashyadi anadyavi idam no sat nityam pragabhava iva spudam anadera vividhvam saha pragabhavasya vikshidaha. Once again, anaditvama vidyayaha karyasyavi tadeshyade utpannayam tu vidyayam avidyagamanadyadi prabodhe swapnavasatya sarvam sahamulam vinashyadi anadyavi idam no nityam pragabhava iva spudam anadera vividhvam saha pragabhavasya vikshidaha. So anaditvam avidyayaha karyasyapi tadha ishyate utpannayam tu vidyayam avidyagam anadi prabodhe swapnavasarvam sahamulam vinashyati anadi idam naha nityam pragabhava iva spudam anadehi vividhvam saha pragabhavasya dikshita. So anaditvam avidyayaha. Avidya is beginningless. That we agree. Avidya is beginningless. Anaditvam avidyayaha. And avidya karyam dukkham. That also seems to be beginningless. No particular reason. One day you just sit and say, I am miserable. No particular reason. For your misery, there is no particular reason. If you try to think about it, it may go. So, avidyayaha karyam is dukkha. Karyasyapi tada ishyade. If avidya is beginningless, its karya dukkha also should be beginningless. Utpannayam tu vidyayaha avidyagam anadyavi prabodhe swapnavasarvam sahamulam vinishyade. Though it is beginningless, avidya and the dukkham, you ask your father, his father. All of them have a story of suffering. All of them. Story of suffering. So this seems to be beginningless. But utpannayam tu vidyayam. When the vidya, knowledge arises, ignorance has to go. It goes. Utpannayam tu vidyayam. How do you create knowledge? By Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasanena, Vidyayam, Avidyagam. Avidya plus its outcome. Avidyagam. Avidya along with its effects, which is dukkha. Avidyagam. Anadyavi, even though it is anadi, prabodhe swapnavasarvam sahamulam vinashyadi. Avidya along with its consequence, which is dukkha, sahamulam vinashyadi. It will end. Like what? Prabodhe swapnavada. Like when you wake up from a bad dream, you wake up from a cold sweat. But then you know what you saw in the dream is not real. Similarly, when you wake up from the waking world into the turiya state, then there is no dukkha, he said. There is no dukkha. But still the doubt remains. Logically, experientially understood. Logically, if something is anadi, beginningless, it has to be endless also. How that happens here? Here avidya is beginningless. I hope you have that question. If a logical mind, you will have the question. If you have no logic, then you will not ask this question. The beginningless should be endless. So, can you give me some example at least? Experientially it is true, but can you give me some logical example? Here. Anadi abhidam naha nityam is. This is the statement. This is the pratigna. Statement is, though avidya is beginningless, it is not nityam, it is not endless. Beginningless, but you said it should be endless. I dispute that. It is beginningless, but it is not endless. Meaning it has an end. Avidya can be put to an end. Can you give me some example? Pragabhava ivaspudam, he said. Like pragabhavam. What is pragabhava? Prior non-existent. Can you give an example for that? Before you create the pot, you created a pot. You have to clay mixed with water and then put it on, then beaten into a certain dough shape, and then you put it on the wheel and slapped it, and finally the pot. You fired it, here is the pot. Before you make, so pot has got a birth. I made the pot yesterday. Before that, where was the pot? Where was the pot? Pot was not there. Before that, there was no pot. This is called pragabhavam, prior non-existence of the pot. Meaning, pot non-existed before it was created. Doesn't make any sense. So, the pragabhavam is beginningless. When did that pragabhavam start? Beginningless. Beginning. Endless. Finished. There was no, you cannot trace the beginning of the pragabhavam. It was always there. But when you made the pot, what happened to the pragabhavam? It came to an end, isn't it? The moment the pot was born, the prior non-existence of the pot ended. That is how the pot can be born. So pragabhavam, though beginningless, it can come to an end, you say. It can come to an end. Similarly, when you break the pot, it is called posterior non-existence of the pot. Pradhumsabhava. After when you break the pot, then the absence of the pot begins again. This is called posterior non-existence. In between pot existed for some time. This posterior non-existence can begin, but it cannot end. It is endless. So there are certain instances where certain phenomena, though they are beginningless, can come to an end. There are certain other phenomena, though they have a beginning, but they are endless. So this is the example I am giving here. Ignorance has no beginning, but you can put an end to it. Since it is too much for me, I accept Guruji, whatever you say. It is too much for me. I trust you, I believe you, so be it. Whatever you say, accept. Meaning, can be things, phenomenon which is beginning can come to an end. There are other kind of phenomenon which has a beginning and but endless. So, anaderabi vidvamsaha. Even though ignorance is anadi, beginningless, vidvamsaha is possible, ending is possible, like pragabhavasya vichidaha. As you see in the case of pragabhavam, we say. Didn't make any sense to you? Pragabhavam. Pradhumsabhavam. Pradhumsabhavam has a beginning but no end. Pragabhava has no beginning but can come to an end. So similarly, ignorance is. So certain things are explained not simply by logic but by examples. You pluck examples from nature and explain certain things, he said. So let us read it once again. Anadittam avidyayaha karyasya vidatheshyade utpannayam tu vidyayam avidyagamanadyabhi prabodhe swapnavassarvam sahamulam vinashyadi anadyabi idam no nityam pragabhava iva spudam anadera vividhumsaha pragabhavasya vichidaha. So go, you can reflect on this. In your evening discussion, you can discuss all this. So that it become very clear to you. Next. Yadbuddhyubadi sambandhad parikalpidamatmani jivatvam na tadonyastu sarubena vilakshanam yadbuddhyubadi sambandhad parikalpidamatmani jivatvam na tadonyastu sarubena vilakshanam yad buddhi ubadi sambandhad parikalpidam atmani jivatvam na tadaha anyada tu sarubena vilakshanam. Yad ubadi sambandhad parikalpidam. So the jivatvam in you, the limitation in you is because of your association, identification with the ubadi. It's not your sarupa nature. Yad ubadi sambandhad parikalpidam atmani, what is superimposed upon the atma. So this adhyasa is a big theme which Shankara discusses. Anyonya adhyasa. Yushmad asmat pratyevajarayoho vishay vishayinoho tamapragashavad viruddha sabhavayoho idaredara bhavanupatta siddhayam tad dharmanamabi idaredara bhavanupatta. This is how he begins his Brahma Sutra Bhashya. He is bringing a methodology for analyzing our problem. Our problem is because the mutual superimposition. The properties of the drik is superimposed upon the drishyam, and the properties of drishyam is superimposed upon the drik. Like what? Fireball. A fireball, the properties of the fire superimposed upon the iron ball, the properties of the iron ball is superimposed upon the fire. How is that? When you say fireball, the ballness belongs to the iron ball and the fire belongs to the fireball, and you create a fictitious entity. Meaning no viveka. No viveka. And then you are confused. So similarly here, ubadi sambandha vashad. Now body is limited. Consciousness is unlimited. And the properties of the body is superimposed upon consciousness, properties of consciousness superimposed upon the body. Then you say, I am a conscious body. Body cannot be conscious. Consciousness cannot have a body. But then you are mixing, you say. This is called confusion. Confusion. Fusing things which cannot be fused. That is called confusion. Fusing things which cannot be fused. And then you are fused in the process. So this is what is happening. Confusion. So sambandha. So tada yada buddhi ubadi sambandhad parikalpidam atmani jivatvam. That's a jivatvam. Na tataha anyadatu. But this jivatvam cannot be separate from the atma. Cannot be separate from the atma. Because the essence of the jiva is the atma. The other is incidental. It comes and goes. So the jiva cannot be understood separate from the Paramatma. Because Jivatvam is a superimposition of the body properties on the Paramatma. And the body itself is a bubble in Paramatma, isn't it? So he says, Jivattamna tataha anyada tu sarubena vilakshanam. So it cannot be taken as sarubena vilakshanam other than the Atma. It's Atman's nature, he says. It is only an assumption on the Atma. There is nothing other than the Atman. So one has to reflect on that. What is assumed on you cannot be separate from you. And when you know your real nature, then there is only one Atman. There is nothing else. Continuing, Sambandha swatmano buddhya mithya jnana purassaraha vinivrittir bhavet tasya samyak jnanena nanyatha. Now Shankara again coming to the same thing. This ignorance can be removed only by knowing the self, he said. Adhara jnanena, adheya nivritti, he said. Adhara is the rope. When you see the rope, adheyam, what is superimposed, disappears, he said. So, sambandhaha swatmanaha buddhya, this identification of the Atman with the buddhi and taking the properties of the buddhi, kartrutvam, bhoktritvam upon the Atman, and the buddhi gains certain consciousness which is borrowed from the Atman. Sambandha swatmanaha buddhya mithya jnana purasara. This is because of lack of viveka. Mithya jnana. Aviveka jnana. You are not able to distinguish between the subject and the object. Vinivritti bhavet tasya. It can be put an end. Samyak jnanena nanyada. By knowing the nature of the self. There is no other way. But still there are two things, isn't it? What are the two things? Ajnanam and Atma. And when you really look into the Ajnanam, they will ask, who is Ajnanam is that? Who is saying I am Ajnanam? I say I am Ajnanam. That means you know yourself. Otherwise you cannot say I am Ajnanam, isn't it? So whichever way you look at it, by asking that question, if you say, I am the Ajnani, that means you know you are Ajnani, you know who you are. You know who you are. Ajnanam goes. So when you vijaram nasagada, it's only a matter of alertness, jagrata. Then Ajnana simply disappears like a mist in the sunrise, you say. Jnana has no. But still Shankara says it is something like, it is neither true nor untrue. He gives a different status, categorical status to Ajnana. It is not totally absent. He is not totally present also. That's how we understand. If it is totally absent, then there is no problem. It is totally present, you cannot avoid it. It is neither absent nor it is present. Then what is it? It is an expression of the self, we say. It's a flowering of the self. It is a way the self wants to hide and discover itself. They want to hide and discover itself. Sometimes say, I am nobody. I am a stupid man. But others say, no, don't say that. You are a wisest man in the world. You want to hear that. I am just trying to justify why it is happening. So sometimes you pretend that you don't know anything and you say that expecting others to contradict you. No, Swamiji, you are the wisest man. No, I say I don't know. So you want some appreciation from others. So Atman is trying to pretend, hide, and then Atman is revealed. Shiva's 5 karmas. Shiva says Srishti, Sthiti, Layam, then Andardhanam and Anugraham. Andardhana means hides. And he become an Anu. Vibhu become an Anu. Then he himself reveals. Who else will reveal? Himself reveals his to himself. So Shiva is looking into the mirror and admiring Sajayadu Shaktiradhya Nijasagamaya Nirupama Bhavijarajara Bijabuddha Shivarupa Vimarsha Nirmala Adarsha. The buddhi is an adarsha. Ignorance is a mirror in which Shiva discovers himself. This is pratyabhijna. Shiva has to again and again discover himself. That's why this hiding is there. Hiding and seeking. Withdrawing and projecting. That's a kind of dance, isn't it? That's how you dance. Shiva is a great dancer. So that's the idea. Sambandha swatmano buddhya mithya jnana purasara vinivrittir bhavet tasya samyak jnanena najnada. You need that holistic vision, samyak jnana. Now what is samyak jnana will be said next. Jiva brahma aikyam samyak jnana. That is the topic. Okay, I may be going a little faster because I have a certain destination. I have to reach there in another 2 days. So with your eyes closed, the moment you say I am ignorant, so the whole human problem is reduced to ignorance. And when you say I am suffering, or philosopher says you are ignorant, ordinary people say I am suffering, philosophers say you are ignorant, jnani. In both cases, you are qualifying yourself. The I am is being qualified, predicate. I am ignorant. Now if you look back, who is ignorant? How do you know you are ignorant? How do you know you are suffering? If you ask that question, don't simply try to remove your suffering, because then you are giving a reality to suffering. Like you try to remove the snake from the rope. When you try to remove the snake from the rope, bring a stick and beat the snake out. And at the end of the day, you say snake has disappeared. In that act of removing suffering, you are giving a reality to suffering. So you are not removing suffering. You are asking the question, how do you know you are suffering? In the light of which suffering manifests? When you ask that fundamental question, rather than immediately spring into action to remove your suffering, you stay with your suffering. Then you have the knowledge of the foundation, the Atman, the consciousness. When you know the foundation, that my nature is happiness, Sata Chida Anandam, in that blazing knowledge, the suffering simply disappears like mist in sunrise. The suffering can be anger, lust, greed, irritation, prejudices, biases, hate. All these are the broods of suffering or ignorance. पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ओम्। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः